Manchild News presents News on the March. The DC dumpster fire continues to burn. They announce the return of Henry Cavill as Superman, only to fire him from the role yet again. And they jettisoned The Rock at the same time, right after one film as Black Adam, as well as deleting Cavill and Gal Gadot's planned cameos in the Flash movie. However, that creeper playing the Flash appears to have kept his job and his movie for now, because that's the clarity of thinking that the people at DC have demonstrated for a decade. Walking through the doors of DC Comics, abandon all common sense, ye who enter here. Speaking of common sense, George Lucas recently stated that the proper way to watch the Star Wars saga is to start with Episode 1, which would seem obvious. However, in doing so, the shocking reveals within the original trilogy are then ruined. On top of that, if it's so important to start with Episode 1, then why didn't they see it as important enough to make first? They made Episode 4 first for a good reason. Might want to consider starting with that one instead. Hashtag just saying. Margot Robbie's ambitions to star in a Pirates of the Caribbean film have been dashed on the rocks, and her role as Harley Quinn now has a questionable future, just like the rest of the DC players.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
So it's a good thing she's about to make the universe forget about everything else she's ever done with her starring role in Barbie, the movie. Robbie and co-star Ryan Gosling, who plays Ken in the film, recently survived location shoots in garish Barbie styling and the loads of finger-pointing from bewildered bystanders. It's Barbie, the movie. I'm sure someone asked for it. You will believe a blonde can look fly. Rumors abound that the next Star Wars movie begins filming in the spring. However, with Rian Johnson's trilogy in perpetual purgatory based on his own recent statements, and Patty Jenkins' future Star Wars film surviving only in her own imagination, no one is certain what this production will be. Some believe it might be Taika Waititi's alleged Star Wars film, but given his recent track record at Marvel, Star Wars' immediate future is a true roll of the dice.
Taking all bets! I also offer video poker!
And lastly, this week, the toy industry made ink, confirming that 25% of annual toy sales are from adults. That's right. Despite what some self-described social media gurus have claimed, that the toy industry doesn't consider adult collectors as a profitable group, the toy industry itself has confirmed that adults are the fastest growing profit sector for these companies, which would explain in obvious fashion why these companies have invested so much capital in direct-to-consumer websites and crowdfunding programs for high-dollar items, and why over the past decade expensive exclusives have become the norm. Retro anniversaries are celebrated with constant nostalgia lines. Production volumes have dropped while prices increase. The self-proclaimed experts on social media will tell you this has nothing to do with the industry prioritizing adult buyers, that what we are seeing isn't a fact, but a mere opinion. And they tell us this recent news article is a manipulation of the actual facts to perpetuate a narrative. The tinfoil hat is on strongly here, people. It couldn't simply be that these companies are catering to adults and that the gurus got it wrong. No, it must be a conspiracy by the toy industry in the media, because that's totally sane.
Are you familiar with the scientific precept known as Occam's razor?
It means that all things being equal, the simplest explanation tends to be the right one.
Remember, people, trust your own eyes and ears. Don't throw away your lifetime of experiences and knowledge. If someone is telling you to ignore your own first-hand observations and listen only to what they say, they don't have your best interests in mind.
Look, I don't have all the answers, but I know it's late.
This has been Manchild News for December 2022.